This is a truly distinctive handheld console, exceptionally unique due to its innovative rotating screen design. Yeah, that Motorola M1511 feel. The feel of it is also quite good, very similar to that of the clamshell 35XX and 34XX models, except that this one now has a rotating screen. Alright, without further ado, let's start the teardown. And looking at the back, we can see that there are a total of 4 hex screws. Once these 4 screws are removed, the back cover should simply come right off. Hey, that was pretty easy and straightforward. Alright, as you can clearly observe, there's a speaker attached right here to the back cover, so our very first step will be to carefully detach its ribbon cable, being extra cautious. You really have to be careful. Okay, so this is a massive speaker. We need to go ahead and unscrew this speaker right here. We can see this is a considerably large speaker, yet it's relatively thin. It seems they likely made it bigger to create a dedicated sound chamber, allowing for greater resonance and a richer, more profound sound. In comparison to smaller speakers, the audio quality will undoubtedly be superior. They certainly put some significant effort into this design choice. Otherwise, considering the 34XX and 35XX, their sound quality wasn't particularly good to begin with. Therefore, the sound quality of this rotating device should actually be quite a bit better. Next, we're going to carefully take off the buttons located on the top part of the device. We have the volume button, the home button, and on this side, the volume up and down controls, along with our shoulder buttons. Speaking of the shoulder buttons, the package includes a pair of replacement shoulder buttons. Let's compare them now. The replacement shoulder buttons from Joge are indeed a tiny bit taller than the ones that come with the device itself. This means that if you replace them, you will notice a stepped effect. So, the inner L2, R2 shoulder buttons will protrude slightly more, and the outer L1, R1 buttons will be just a tad flatter. This creates a distinct tactile difference for your fingers when pressing them, unlike the original design, which was completely flush. Of course, it's up to you to decide which ones you prefer to use. Once buttons are off, we can cut power. Right here, we can clearly see a small pull tab which we can gently lift up and remove. The fixed battery here uses this foam adhesive to provide some cushioning, so it won't rattle loudly or suffer hard impacts within the device's body. This prevents it from knocking around inside and being damaged. Below, we can observe that this circuit board is divided into 2 sections. On the upper portion, you'll find a Wi-Fi antenna slot. We'll detach it. Then located here is a ribbon cable that connects the 2 parts. We'll carefully unlatch its connector. Then take out the cable. The rest is just more screws to remove. There's an anti-static sticker here. We'll gently peel it off when we remove this circuit board in a moment. After this screw is taken out, we can then gently lift up the upper motherboard section. Alright, at this stage we need to carefully examine the back of this motherboard to see if there are any latches, clips, or any other connecting elements. Oh, we can clearly see what looks like the screen's ribbon cable right here. We'll just carefully pry that off. Okay, with that done, there really shouldn't be any other connecting points or cables left that are holding things together, as far as we can tell. Okay, at this point we're going to proceed with carefully detaching the main board from its current position. Alright, that should just about cover it all. Okay, we've successfully separated this motherboard now. It's already covered with a lot of shielding. This shielding cover can also provide some simple passive cooling, effectively helping to dissipate heat. Realistically, the T618 processor doesn't really need a particularly large cooling module, considering its inherently limited heat generation. And over here we can spot both the TF card slot and the vibration motor. That vibration motor is actually securely attached right here, directly on top of a protective shielding cover. Now the lower section should clearly be where the buttons are located. And with this, we also need to be very gentle. At this moment, we'll carefully remove all the ABXY buttons, and don't forget these 2 silicone pads as well. Make sure you get them all. Alright, so on the board itself, we have now successfully and completely removed all of these individual buttons that were previously attached. So at this moment we can observe the button board. You will find a small microphone on it, and all the other buttons are indeed of the dome switch type. The actuation force is actually quite decent. It should be very similar to the 35XXSPs, as it's rather light. Let's compare these buttons now. It seems like they're quite similar. I'll grab a 35XX model so we can compare them directly, side by side. It seems these ABXY buttons might actually be compatible with the 35XXs. Put it in. Fits perfectly. So does that mean the D-pad is also interchangeable with the 35XX? This one is from a 35XX. For this 35XX, the external dimensions might not be all that different. But when we talk about the thickness, well, the 35XX is definitely quite a bit thicker. The outer dimensions should be quite similar. Once we've taken out the other parts, what's left is this quite fascinating rotating mechanism. Let's disassemble it and examine it more closely. It seems I was overthinking things. It really comes off quite easily. This particular spot here, well, it really just serves as a simple groove. The entire rotational mechanism has been designed as a fully integrated single-piece structure, so there's truly no need for excessive concern or worry about it. Upon examination, we've discovered that this particular black machine features a plastic C shell and D shell, whereas its A shell and B shell are crafted from metal components. Logically speaking, this rotating mechanism should be a single solid piece, so even if we go ahead and unscrew these 4 screws, it really shouldn't pose much of an issue at all. Therefore, we're going to proceed and take out the screws that are holding the screen in place as well. The structure itself isn't particularly complex. Along the outer edge of its casing, there's a plastic frame, likely incorporated to help mitigate vibrations or similar effects. Overall, the design appears to be quite meticulously crafted and refined. And then, on the inside, there's the screen structure itself. The screen is simply glued directly onto this outer frame, attached from the front. Honestly, there's not much more to elaborate on regarding that. Alright, I didn't expect this RG flip teardown to be so quick, did I? That was beyond my expectations. However, for such a compact machine, I actually believe its craftsmanship is exceptionally well done and quite impressive, especially considering its diminutive size. Even though its black D shell and C shell aren't metallic, the frosted texture they've managed to achieve feels really quite good, offering a very decent tactile quality, making it quite satisfying to the touch. What more can I really add? It didn't particularly exceed my expectations in any way, nor was there anything truly disappointing about it. I'd simply describe it as a pretty solid and quite conventional product from ANBERNIC. However, the only thing I don't know right now is whether ANBERNIC has managed to fix the lifespan issue of this hinge. If the hinge durability issue has also been resolved, then this flip-style device is actually a really suitable and fantastic little portable walnut handheld. It's not only compact in size, but it can also flip open to provide a more comfortable gaming experience. So, has ANBERNIC's breakthrough really met expectations? That's truly something only the market and time will be able to tell. At least structurally it looks very sturdy, and the all-steel construction certainly appears to be in a highly stable and robust condition. Naturally, with prolonged usage, you might wonder if it will start to develop even more wobble. Honestly, that's an unavoidable aspect. The real question is just how extended long-term use truly turns out to be, isn't it? We'll simply have to wait and observe how it fares over time. I truly hope this RG flip device can have a significantly longer lifespan. Alright, that concludes this teardown. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.